Today we will do the next chapter, that is photosynthesis, as you can see. So before I start with this chapter, let me give a little bit of introduction. We have already done the absorption by roots, and we have already done the next chapter, that is transpiration. So this is the another process which we will be following in this particular chapter, where we will see the physiological process of the plants itself, and that is photosynthesis. So we all know from the junior classes what is the meaning of photosynthesis. Let me go straight away to the explanation part. So as you can see over here, I have written photosynthesis as what? It is a self-food producers. We will learn about this self-food producers, that are the green plants, right? And we have already learned what is mean by photosynthesis. This means we can divide this one into two parts, that is photo and synthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means making. That means in presence of light, when something is getting prepared, the process is known as photosynthesis, and because of which this process, the green plants, they can make their own food. So because of that, it is known as self-food producers. Now there will be lot of questions which we will be learning in this chapter, and as we learn all these things, most of the part of this particular process will be done. So first, what we have to know, what is photosynthesis? The next part is where it is taking place, how it is taking place, and why it is taking place. So if we can answer these four questions, I think so we will be done with this whole chapter. So now first of all, I will explain you what is photosynthesis. This is already done in our junior classes. It is the process by which the plants are making the food. But when we make something, when we synthesize something, we need certain raw materials. Without that we cannot make. Like suppose we cook food also, if we cook a delicious item, then we need some ingredients, right? So what are the ingredients over here will be the raw materials for this photosynthesis. So let us first jot down the raw materials. Now when we talk about the raw materials, we have to know that what are the things it is needed. It's very important to know raw materials. Number one, which is needed for photosynthesis, that is carbon dioxide, right? Next, the raw material which will be needed, that is water, followed by the chlorophyll, and obviously what is important, that is sunlight. Though sunlight is not considered as a raw material, sunlight is considered as a part of energy. It is an energy which is required in this process, right? So when we talk about a material, we can also say, we can only say that carbon dioxide and water, but yes, we can always mention chlorophyll, because without this photosynthesis will not take place. So this is what we call as a raw materials, and these are mostly needed for the photosynthesis process. Now when we are talking about this photosynthesis, these raw materials all will be combining, and we will learn how it will combine, and it will give us a kind of a product. Now what is the product? The product is over here the food, right? The food. This is the main product that is coming out of this photosynthesis process. So because of that, green plants are actually recommended to make the food of their own self. But along with the food, there are certain other things which will come as a byproduct, right? It is a byproduct. So what will be the byproduct over here? The byproduct is over here, oxygen will be liberated, right? And along with that, the water vapor will be liberated, and along with that, to some extent, ATP molecules will also be produced, right? So this is the products which we will get. So here we can see these four things. These are actually the end products. But when we talk about the byproducts, we can talk this particular thing as a byproduct, right? So for this, we have to know the reaction, and this is the general reaction. First of all, I will be giving you over here, right? we will go step by step, right? So first we will learn the reaction over here. Okay, so overall reaction we will be doing, that is CO2 will react with the water and it will give us glucose, that is the food over here, that is C6H12O6 plus O2 plus water, right? This is the most important part. So we have to know, and what we have to include over here is, on top of this arrow, we have to include sunlight and we have to include chlorophyll. So gradually now I will be making you to understand about how this process is taking place. But before we go for this process, we have to know very important thing is where this photosynthesis takes place. So almost we have learned half of it, what is meant by photosynthesis, and then we will learn that where this photosynthesis is taking place. So we all of us know that photosynthesis takes place in the green plants, right? When we talk about the green plants, please be sure about that it is taking place in the green parts of the plant. Green part of the plant are not only including the leaves, it also includes the green stems, it also includes the fruit the green part that you see, like that of the chili, the green part, and it also includes the flower sepals, right? But mostly the photosynthesis takes place in the leaves. So we say leaves as a kitchen of the plant. So then we will come to know that where this photosynthesis takes place. It is taking place in the leaves. Now inside the leaves where it is taking place, so we have to know its main address where it is taking place, right? So now we will move on to where it is taking place. So when I will explain you this, I will try to explain you the inside part of the leaf cells. So when we have learned the transpiration, all of you have seen the section of the leaf which is having the upper epidermis, right? The upper epidermis, which are the cubical cells like this, right? Okay. And down of this upper epidermis, there were longitudinal cells. And these are the palisade cells, palisade mesophyll cells, right? And after that, there are some round cells which are known as the spongy mesophyll cells, right? These spongy mesophyll cells has the intercellular space, and it is also having over here the xylem through which the water will be conducted. So I'm just trying to explain you, right, the structure. Okay, so these are the spongy mesophyll cells which I have drawn. And now this is the lower epidermis where we see the stomatal pore. The lower epidermis part, we see the stomatal pore, right? This we have already learnt. If this is the structure of the leaf, then where actually the photosynthesis takes place? This is our question. Photosynthesis takes place mostly in these mesophyll cells. So let me mark it, that is mesophyll. These are the mesophyll cells, right? So in these mesophyll cells, there are certain structures which are present. It's a cell. So if inside the cell something will be present, that is known as the organelles. Okay. So these are the special organelles which are mainly found only in the plant cell, right? And in this plant cell, these organelles are named as chloroplasts. Okay, so these are known as the chloroplasts. These chloroplasts are actually the green plastids, right? These are the green plastids which are present. And these chloroplasts mainly we find abundantly over here, that is in the mesophyll cells. Now why it is present mostly in the mesophyll cells, upper mesophyll cells? Because the sunlight will be able to reach these mesophyll cells very easily through this upper epidermis. Okay, and obviously the sunlight is needed for photosynthesis, that we know. But not only the chloroplast present in the upper mesophyll cells, it is also present in these spongy mesophyll cells, right? it is also present in the guard cells. Okay, so if I draw separately the guard cell that we have already done in the transpiration chapter, the guard cell is a bean-shaped cell, right? And here the guard cells are also having this type of green structures, which is also known as what? The chloroplast, right? Inside the chloroplast actually is the place where the photosynthesis takes place. So now I will magnify this chloroplast, and here I will draw the chloroplast, and I will explain you exactly the internal structure of the chloroplast. Okay, so we are just simply magnifying this one over here, right? When we talk about a chloroplast, it is an organelle. So most of the organelles we see, either it is double membrane or it is a single membrane. Like mitochondria is a double membrane. Okay, Golgi bodies is a single membrane. So this chloroplast is a double membrane. Okay, so whenever we try to draw this one diagrammatically, it is a double membrane organelle, right? So let me draw over here. I think so you will be able to see. It's an oval structure, right? And here I will draw another membrane. Okay, another membrane. So this is the outer, number one, this is the outer, and this is inner. So we can also write over here outer membrane, we can write over here inner membrane, or altogether we can write as a double membrane, right? Now inside this, what is there that we have to know very nicely. Inside this chloroplast, there are certain sac-like structures. There are certain sac-like structures. These sac-like structures are stacked over each other like the piles of books. As we keep the piles of books in this manner, it is kept or it is arranged. Okay. So this particular structure, this sac-like structure which is piled, particular singular that sac-like structure are known as thylakoids. Right? Thylakoids. And when we keep a pile like this together a pile is known as grana. Right? It is known as a grana. And obviously they will not be in the air. Over here there is a liquid which we call as the liquid portion which we call as a matrix. We call this one as a stroma. S-T-R-O-M-A. So here anyone can get confused with the word stoma and stroma. Stoma means the stomata, right? And stroma means the ground substance which is present inside the chloroplast. So kindly note it down because this can be there in a particular kind of a question. Now, these particular stacks, they are arranged or they are interconnected to each other with this kind of structures which is known as lamellae or it is known as fret. I can also write over here lamellae. In some of the books it is named as a lamellae or a fret. Now, this is the main structure and we have to know, this is the chloroplast which I have drawn, mind it, and surrounding this chloroplast thylakoids like this there is a coating, right? If you can see, there is a coating and this coating is actually known as the pigment which we call as chlorophyll, right? So this is actually the chlorophyll. So it is a green colored coating kind of thing which is present surrounding these thylakoids. Chlorophyll is a chemical substance which is having lot of we can say the elements like I will give you afterwards the elements what are present: nitrogen, oxygen, magnesium. These are the hydrogen. These are the elements which are present in the chlorophyll and it is a biomolecule, right? So these chlorophylls are present. Now this chlorophyll, there are actually, you will be surprised to know that there are actually 9 types of chlorophyll. 9 types of chlorophylls are there, but only in case of this photosynthesis 2 chlorophylls are mainly active, that is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. They are named like that, like vitamin A, vitamin B in the same manner. Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, they are very much active for this particular process. then what happens is this chlorophyll is having a tendency to get activated during the daytime, right? So why we say during the daytime, when the sunlight will fall on these mesophyll cells, inside the mesophyll cells these chloroplasts are there, inside the chloroplast the chlorophylls are there. So these chlorophylls will get activated, right? They will get activated and they will start the process. Now when they will get activated, the sunlight, we have to know what is there in the sunlight. Sunlight is actually the composition of 7 colors of Weber. Actually chlorophyll gets activated with the color from the red and blue spectrum, right? It is getting activated with the red and the blue spectrum mainly, but it is totally reflecting the green color. It is totally reflecting the green color, and because of that this chlorophyll is green, right? It is actually not utilizing this green spectrum of light for the photosynthesis process. So here we come to the end of this particular chloroplast structure, and now we will move on to the next topic in the next video, right? Thank you.